Okay, looking at work together 2-1. What I'm looking at first is going to be the directions, and the directions read, write the following answers to the problems below. Your instructor will guide you through the following examples. We have a list of accounts on the top. It says, for each account, complete the following. Prepare a T account, label the debit and credit sides, label each side of the T account with the following labels. Normal balance, increase, and decrease. Again, on the board, I just wrote a plus and a minus, but if you typed in the letter IN, it would auto-populate for increase, or DE would auto-populate for decrease, okay? So they actually already created some of these accounts for us. So the first one we have, I'm going to start on the upper left-hand side, is going to be cash. The first thing that we need to label is going to be our debits and credits. Okay, so I'm going to label the left-hand side as debit, and the right-hand side as credit, if I could spell it. Now, it doesn't matter what T account you ever create, you need to remember that the left side is always called debit and the right side is always called credit. But we're not going to go through and fill those in for all of them, are we, Colton? We're going to wait and listen to Mrs. Grassel. Thanks, Colton. Now, cash. This is the reason that I want you to slow down, because I need you to hear the questions I ask, because the questions I ask is going to cause you to start thinking the accounting way, so it makes it easier for to answer the questions. What was that? Oh, the back of your chair. So cash. In order for us to do the rest of this, you don't need to do anything right away except know that the left side is debit, the right side is credit. To answer the rest of this problem, it's going to say we need to mark the normal balance and the increase. You have to determine the account's classifications, okay? An account can either be classified as an asset, liability, or owner's equity. So cash is going to be what type of an account, Sarah? An asset. Assets are on what side of the accounting equation, Sarah? So what is its normal balance? What side is the normal balance? Which is called? Debit. So we will go through on the left-hand side and type in the word normal balance. And we know if we mark it normal balance, that's going to be the increase sign. So whatever side you mark as normal balance right away, you would mark as increase, and then the opposite would be decrease. We always need to make sure that the last line will either say increase or decrease on either side. Don't put the word decrease directly below the word credit on this example. Applia will yell at you. Okay? I'm going to move across over here to the next one, accounts payable, Miller Supplies. Now, you can right away label it debit on the left, credit on the right. The next part that we have to do, Kyler, accounts payable Miller Supplies, what type of an account? Asset, liability, or owner's equity? Liability, because it has the word payable in it. That's a key thing that you need to realize. Liabilities, Kyler, on what side of the accounting equation? Right, so what's the normal balance? And what is the right side called? Credit. So we're going to say the credit is the normal balance. Normal balance is always the increase sign. The opposite would be the decrease. Okay, next we're going to do accounts receivable, Christine Kelly. First thing we can do is make sure that we label the debit and the credit. Because debit and credit doesn't matter the account classification. Always the left is debit, always the right is credit. Ricky, accounts receivable, Christine Kelly is what type of a classification? Asset, liability, or owner's equity? Assets are on what side of the accounting equation? Left side. So the normal balance would be called debit. Excellent. So we are going to say that the normal balance is debit. Normal balance is always increase. Opposite is decrease. Accounts payable, Wayne's office supply. I'm going to make Wayne do it because this is his account. Are you ready, Wayne? Think you can handle it? Thinking back? First thing we have to do is mark our debit and credit. Wayne, accounts payable, Wayne office supplies, what type of an account? Asset, liability, owner's equity? Because it has the word payable in it. So payable always means it's a liability. What's the normal balance of a liability, Wayne? Credit. Normal balance is always the increase side. Opposite is decrease. Just put you right on the spot there. How does that make you feel? I get that. He's yelling at me in his head, right? Next one we're going to do is supplies. Again, it doesn't matter. The first thing that we can fill in is going to be the left side is debit, the right side is credit. Always, always, always. After you do that, the next question you have to ask yourself is going to be, Hannah, what type of an account is supplies? Asset, liability, or owner's equity? Assets are on what side of the accounting equation? Left. And the left side of the accounting equation is going to be the normal balance side, so our normal balance is going to be debit. Excellent. Normal balance is always increase, opposite is decrease. Jeff Dixon Capital. First thing you do is label your debits and credits. Jeff Dixon Capital, Jared, is what type of an account? Asset, liability, or owner's equity? Excellent. Owner's equity is on what side of the accounting equation? Right. And so what's the normal balance going to be? Excellent. Credit normal balance for Jeff Dixon Capital. Last one we have here is prepaid insurance. First thing we'll do is mark it as our debits and our credits. Justin, what type of an account is prepaid insurance? Asset, liability, or owner's equity? Asset. Assets are on what side of the accounting equation? Left, so therefore its normal balance is going to be called debit. Thank you. Woohoo! I got a 21 out of 21. Anyone else? Anyone else? Nice. Go ahead and try on your own. All right. What I have up is our directions for application number 2. Application 1, excuse me. Chapter 2, application 1. The directions read, write the answers to the following problems below. We have the accounts cash through supplies and 1 resold capital. Instructions, what it tells us to do. Don't start typing. Look up here. I'll give you time. Write the account title in column 1. Write the classification in column 2. We have 3 options for classification. What is it? Asset, liability, owner's equity. Those are your classifications. It's important that you understand accounts are classified based on where they go on the accounting equation. So first thing you do is you write your account title. Then you have to type in the classification of either asset, liability, or owner's equity. Then you have to place a check mark in either 3 or 4, not both of them, telling me the account's normal balance side. Then you have to go through and put a check mark on 5 and 6 on whether or not its increase side is debit or credit. And then you have to put a check mark in 7 or 8 indicating which one is going to be the decrease side. Very similar to what we did in the actual work together and on your own, except you have to lay it out a little differently. When we look here, it's giving you a heads up in Applia saying the accounts have to be entered in this order. If you put Juan Rio Capital before accounts payable, Applia will mark it wrong. Okay, because it says in this line it has to be this account and this is the answer. If it was a physical workbook, I could look at it and I could figure it out, but in accounting land, when we're online, it says you have to match exactly. So that's your assignment. The other thing I would love for you to do is please, if you have not read over 2.1, please read 2.1 and then also look at 2.2 for tomorrow. Thank you. I'm done.